Hello everyone, this is Joker and welcome to my Formula 1 World Championship review of the Monaco Grand Prix. Again, I'm a little bit late, sorry about that. I'm not feeling very well the last few days. Nothing too bad, but it doesn't really help with making these videos, how simple they might be. So yeah, back on to the Monaco Grand Prix. This time I'm also gonna talk a bit more about qualification, so I'm gonna start there. Qualification is always the best of Monaco. We know that, and I accept that. I'm not gonna talk about others. I know a few who hate this track, and I know a few who adore this track. I'm somewhere in between, but more towards the adore. So yeah, going on the limits, maybe not the fastest, but still on the limit, driving their, wheels to the walls. One mistake, one slip up, and it's all over. As you sort of saw with Charles Leclerc. His final run was maybe improving his time, maybe not. He had a few mini sectors that were quicker. It was such a tight margin, it was really impossible to say. And then he clipped his wheel, broke the wishbone, into the chicane, into the wall, red flag. And the trouble of that was many others could not finish their final flying lap. I'm not gonna say that Max Verstappen would have gotten pole. I don't know. It's at this point speculations. Would Max Verstappen had a good chance of beating Charles to pole position? Yes. Like I said though, Charles was also on a slightly better run. So how much better would have Max been? I mean, just the first sector does not mean you will take the pole. You can even take pole with no purple sectors. So it's a tough one to say. Carlos Sainz, to be honest, I doubt he would have taken the pole position. He was just behind every time, again, behind those two. And then Valtteri Bottas, he was also improving his time, I believe. But to be honest, I think it would have gone down to the wire between Charles and Max Verstappen. And I cannot say, honestly not say, who would have gotten the pole of the two. Now, an accident like that obviously comes with questions. If someone creates a yellow flag or a red flag in this instance, should he be penalized? I say he should be investigated for sure, but penalized, it's a difficult one to say. I've heard a lot of arguments against and a lot of arguments for. Main reasons for is if someone does it on purpose, they secure their pole position, and especially at the track as Monaco, track position is key. So they put their, I forgot the turn corners, but Nico Rosberg, he overstepped his bounds, did not get penalized, but kept his pole position because of it. Michael Schumacher did basically the same thing, misjudged, allegedly, his braking point where he got stuck into Raskas, I believe, or was it chicane? Where he could not come out, so yeah, red flag. He got penalized and disqualified, even for the race, I believe. So yeah, it's a difficult one. Rosberg got away with it, Charles got away with it, Michael Schumacher did not. Then again, the one from Schumacher, it was obviously done on purpose. Well, obviously is maybe too strong a word, but the indications were there. Rosberg, it was more of a doubting case from did he do it on purpose or not. If he did it on purpose, he deserved a penalty. If he actually misjudged the corner, it was an honest mistake. And now back on Charles. I don't think he deserves a penalty for what he did there. You cannot tell me he did that on purpose, especially not in hindsight. He broke down his car with potential of not starting the race or getting grid penalties. You do not do something like that on purpose. Well, luckily for him, sort of, the gearbox did not need changing, so no grid penalties for that. However, on his way to the starting grid, his drive shaft broke down. They did not see the problems there. A slight hair fracture is enough to break down. Those are the tolerances of the car. And yes, it was on the other side of the wall where it broke. The whole car gets under heavy loading, stress even, when it crashes. So you can break off your right wheel when you hit the wall with your left side. So it's nothing strange there. It's unfortunate, very unfortunate, especially for Charles. I do can't find a word, but he deserved the pole position at least until that point. And I would not mind if he would have won the Monaco Grand Prix. I am not a Charles fan, by far not even close a Charles fan, but if he would have won, I would say good job. But sadly, he did not even start, so his Monaco curse continues on. And then the race itself. I know many people say Monaco is a boring procession. Monaco needs to go. No. Is it a boring procession? Maybe. Racing is more than just overtakes. It's also tension from what will happen. How will the pit stops pay off? Will they keep it on track? Especially since track limits were a real contention the last few races. There were even 2 or maybe 3 warnings for track limits on this track. Not that those really mattered, but the other ones did matter. And now, if you outstep your bounds except for turn 10, you are in the wall, your race is over, walk home. Or like Kimi did a few years back, walk to a yacht and relax there. Monaco might not be the most spectacular where everything goes wrong, but it is one of the more demanding tracks of the drivers. If you want to be a world champion, you need to be able to drive under different conditions. Rain, dry, sandstorms, small tracks, wide tracks, curvy tracks, straight tracks, and so forth and so forth. That is why I say Monaco needs to stay. It's a real special track. I can't believe why they call it the jewel on the crown. Because, like I said, it's such a high concentration track. And I love it for it. One mistake and it's game over. That's why I'm really surprised. No safety car. I mean, literally no safety car, no red flags on the race. So, especially for Monaco, that's a specialty. Not that it is a big problem, because I enjoyed the race very well. I was looking at the timetables and seeing who is going faster. Will they be able to get a chance? How will the pit stops pay off? And, well, it's mostly at the pit stops where the changes happened. Look at Sergio Perez, starting behind Lewis, finishing 4th. Same for forgot the name. Vettel, sorry. How can I forget his name? Finishing 5th. Okay, one of those places, actually 2 of those places, were basically a present. But remember, if those 2 places were still in contention, Lewis would have finished 9th instead of 7th. Imagine the difference between Verstappen and Lewis with that in contention. More on that later. So yeah, Leclerc out before the start and Bottas with a dreadful pit stop. I mean, I cannot even fathom why Toto Wolff blamed even slightly Bottas on that. Trouble in paradise. Toto and Lewis also after the race blaming each other basically via the media, not behind closed doors. That is not a good sign for Mercedes. So yeah, Max Verstappen won the race. He was in control the whole time. Everyone who tried to get close were basically disintegrating the tires. And that would have other problems. Not that gaining in a position with fresher tires would have been possible, because still it's Monaco. But on the other hand, especially with lapping, it's a danger. You want to have good tires. Period. And with that victory and that very abysmal race of Lewis Hamilton, Max now leads the championship. The first Dutch driver to ever lead a championship. And it is the first time that a non-Mercedes car in a few years is leading the championship. And because of the fallout of Bottas, Red Bull is leading the championship. The latter is just 1 point and the former is just 4 points, so it's a really tight margin. But with the cracks that Mercedes is now showing, and I'm not talking about the wheel nut, I'm talking about the contentions between the teams and the drivers, Mercedes will have a tough fight getting back on top. Will they regain somewhere an overhand? I'm sure they will. But will they win this championship? Obviously, we do not know. Red Bull is also prone of making mistakes. They really need to step up now. If they don't step up, even with the cracks in Mercedes showing, Mercedes will run away. But if Red Bull can manage at least this, and especially when they do step up, they can actually maintain an actual overhead. I'm not gonna say Red Bull will win the driver championship, because unless Bottas will keep on having those mistakes, and I'm not saying it are his mistakes, but he is suffering from them, yeah, then Red Bull will run away with the championship. Perez is not on par yet, and he needs to step up as well. But for Max, there's a real good chance this time. A real good chance. Let's see if he can dethrone Lewis Hamilton. The greatest surprises of all these drivers was Vettel getting that good of precision. Was it due to his own good driving or the bad driving of others? I hope the former. Yes, Lewis was abysmal, but he was not the disappointment of the race even. Ricciardo. I mean, Vettel was on top. One of the older drivers, but he was up there. Carlos Sainz, new driver to the team as well. Sure, he's a yonky, but he was on the freaking podium. So, how many more does Ricciardo need to get to grips with how good he is and how well the McLaren drives, because Lando Norris, yes, an exceptional talented guy, he was on the podium. And Ricciardo was nowhere. Even Perez does it better in the Red Bull. Hell, even Nikita Mazepin seems to do it better in that Haas. I know the Haas is incomparable, but terrible cars. Red Bull does not have the best car of driving that is out there. It's a difficult car. So Perez is more on point with the Red Bull than Ricciardo is with the easier car that McLaren is. And their teammates are way up there. Again, Ricciardo is losing out to a younger driver. And not by a little bit. So I really hope he gets some of his glory back. But at this point, I do fear it's the end of his career. Right, that was this video for today. Leave your thoughts and comments down below. My rating for this race, still a solid 7. I enjoyed it very much. I know many of you have not, but probably some of you will have enjoyed it nonetheless. Like I said, remember, it's not all about overtaking. It's about tension. And this race had some real tension, in my opinion. So, everybody, take care, be safe, see you next time. Bye bye.